Beowulf, Part 17. Further the lords of earls bestowed treasures on the mead bench, ancient blades, to each of those who travelled the ocean path with Beowulf. And he bade recompense to be made with gold for the one whom Grendel before murderously killed. So he was minded to do with more of them, if wise God and the man's courage had not turned aside such a fate from them. The Lord ruled over all mankind as he still does. Wherefore, understanding, forethought of soul, he is everywhere best. He who sojourns long in the world in these days of sorrow must needs suffer much avail and woe. There was song and music mingled before Healfdena's chieftain. The harp was touched, a measure often recited at such time as it fell to Hrothgar's minstrels to proclaim joy in the hall along the mead bench. Henef of the Skeldings, a hero of the Halfdanes, was fated to fall in the Frisian battlefield when the sudden onslaught came upon them, the sons of Finn. Nor in truth had Hildebrand cause to praise the faith of the Ettins. Sinless, she was spoilt of her dear ones at the shield play. A son and a brother, wounded with the spear, they fell in succession. She was a sorrowing woman. Not without cause did the daughter of Hak lament her fate, when morning came, when she might see the slaughter of kinsmen under the sky. Where erstwhile he had had greatest joy in the world, war carried off all the thanes of Fenn except a very few, so that in no wise could he offer fight to Hengest in the battlefield, nor protect by war the sad survivors from the prince's thane. But they offered them conditions, that they would give up to them entirely another building, the hall and high seat, that they might have power over half of it with the men of the Ettins, and that the son of Folkwalda would honor the Danes each day with gifts at the bestowal of presents, would pay respect to Hengest's troops with rings, just as much as he would encourage the race of the Frisians in the beer hall with the ornaments of plated gold. Then on both sides they had faith in firm-knit peace. Fenn swore to Hengest deeply, inviolably, with oaths, that he would treat the sad survivors honorably, according to the judgment of the counselors, that no man there should break the bond by word or deed, nor should they ever mention it in malice, although they had followed the slayer of their giver of rings after they had lost their leader, since the necessity was laid upon them. If then any one of the Frisians should recall to mind by dangerous speech the deadly hostility, then it must needs recall also the edge of the sword. The oath was sworn and rich gold taken from the treasure. The best of the heroes of the warlike Skeldings was ready on the funeral fire. On that pyre the blood-stained shirt of mail was plain to see, the swine image all gold, the boar hard as iron, many a chieftain slain with wounds. Many had fallen in the fight. Then Hildebrand brought her own son to be given over to the flames at Hnaf's pyre, his body to be burned and placed on the funeral fire. The women wept, sorrowing by his side. She lamented in measures. The warrior mounted up. The greatest of the funeral fires wound up to the clouds. It roared in front of the mound. Heads melted, wounds burst open, while blood gushed forth from the gashes in the bodies. The fire, greediest of spirits, consumed all those of both people whom war carried off there. Their mightiest men had departed. Part 18. The warriors went then, bereft of friends, to visit the dwellings, to see the land of the Frisians, the homes, and the stronghold. Then Hengest dwelt yet in peace with Finn for a winter stained with the blood of the slain. He thought of his land, though he could not drive the ring-proud ship on the sea. The ocean surged with storm, rose up against the wind. Winter bound the waves with fetters of ice. till another year came into the dwellings, as those still do now who await an opportunity, the bright, clear weather. Then winter was past. The bosom of the earth was fair. The exile proposed to depart, the guest out of the castle. He thought rather of vengeance for sorrow than of the sea journey. If he could bring the battle to pass in which he thought to take vengeance on the children of the Ettins. So he let things take their course, when Hunlefing laid on his bosom the gleaming sword, best of blades. Its edges were famed among the Eotins. Even so did the deadly death by the sword come upon brave Finn in his own home, when Gunnluf and Osluf, after their sea journey, sorrowfully lamented the grim attack. They were wroth at their manifold woes. Their restless spirit could not be ruled in their breast. Then was the hall reddened with the corpses of foes. Finn slain likewise, the king mid his troops, and the queen taken. The warriors of the Skeldings bore to the ships all the house treasure of the king of the land, whatever they could find at Finn's home of ornaments and jewels. They bore away on the sea voyage the noble woman to the Danes, led her to her people. The song was sung, the glee man's measure. Joy rose again, bench music rang out clear. Servants gave out wine from wondrous goblets. Then Wealhtheow, under her golden circlet, came forth where the two valiant ones were sitting, uncle and nephew. At that time there was peace yet between them, each true to the other. Likewise, Unferth sat there as a squire at the feet of the prince of the Skeldings. Each of them trusted his heart, that he had a noble mind, though he had not yet been faithful to his kinsman at the play of swords. Then spoke the queen of the Skeldings. Receive this goblet, my prince, giver of treasure. Rejoice, gold friend of warriors, and speak to the Geats with kindly words, as it is fitting to do. Be gracious to the Geats, mindful of gifts, far and near now thou hast peace. They said that thou wast minded to take the warrior for son. Heorot is cleansed, the bright ring hall. Be generous with many rewards while thou mayest, and leave to thy kinsmen subjects and kingdom when thou must needs go forth to face thy destiny. I know, my gracious Hrothulf, that he will treat the young men honorably, if thou, friend of the Skeldings, will pass from the world before him. I think that he will richly reward our children, if he forgets not all the favors we formerly showed him for his pleasure and honor, while he was still a child. She turned then toward the bench where her sons were, Hrethric and Hrothmund, and the sons of heroes, the young men together. There the valiant one, Beowulf of the Geats, sat by the two brothers. And we're going to pause here, and we'll continue with part 19 in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. I love you guys. As Tigger says, ta-ta for now.